Oh, you guys are in for a treat for this one, baby. As what you guys see from the title and thumbnail, yes, this is the most insane one-shot super that you can possibly get in Destiny 2. And I can't believe actually this exotic got a buff. Well, not a buff, but I would say an updated version of it, you know? So you're going to deal insane amounts of damage just by casting your super. Also, you're going to be dealing increased damage to your exotic weapon and your heavy weapon as well. So it's like an increased damage to every single thing that you can possibly get for this build, but most likely for your super. If you guys are hyped for Season of the Wish and like to see more Destiny 2 builds, be sure to drop that like and sub button, and let's get right into it. Let's first talk about which exotic armor piece we're going to be using for this build. It is the Celestial Nighthawk. Back in the day, all it would do is that it would give you a one-shot, one opportunity bullet for your gunslinger and would deal high damage with that single shot. But now, whenever you get precision final blows, it reduces your cooldown of your super, and targets defeated by the shot gives you super energy, and they also explode. Those are the two new ones for this exotic helmet. And if you guys would like to know the numbers for this exotic armor piece, it would grant your golden gun 650% increased damage. And if you would get a golden gun kill, it would refund 33% super energy. And if it's a precision kill, in which case you're most likely going to be doing that, it would give you between 1.5 to 4.5% of super energy depending on the enemy killed. So yeah, be sure to put that on if you want to deal insane amounts of damage, because if you don't, you're not going to do it, you know? Let's head to the hunter subclass, which is the gunslinger. Let's start with the super. For the super, I do recommend you should go for golden gun marksman, because one, your golden gun deals massively increased precision damage, and it would create orbs of power if you get a precision hit, but you would have to be radiant for this to proc. And don't worry about getting radiant. You're going to get radiant a lot of times for this build, or should I say infinitely. Now let's head to the abilities. For the abilities, these are the ways for you to get radiant at all times. For your class ability, you got to put Gambler's Dodge, which gives you your melee back when dodging near a combatant. Your solar melee, knife trick, of course, because that's the best melee for PvE in my opinion. And for your solar grenades, I do recommend going for healing grenade if you want to survive longer. Now onto the two aspects. The first one is knock them down. You gotta put this one on, dude, because it enhances your marksman golden gun by increasing its duration when casting it, so it lasts a bit longer once you pull out your golden gun. And the second part is whenever you're radiant, final blows with your throwing knives fully refund your melee energy. With this one, you got to be a little bit careful, because if you're going to be spamming it non-stop, you got to wait between 1 to 2 seconds, because if you would spam it non-stop, your melee would disappear and you would have to use your class ability to get it back. So be sure to wait 1 to 2 seconds when throwing your knives if you want to do it infinitely. And of course, it would go away if you don't kill the target. The second aspect is on your mark. This one is good for your weapons, actually. If you were to get precision final blows, it would grant you and your nearby allies increased weapon handling and reload speed for a short duration, which can stack up to 3 times. But whenever you activate your class ability, it would give you all of the 3 stacks at once. So for these two aspects, you will have 5 fragments in total. Without further ado, let's head to the fragments that makes this build 10 times better. The first fragment is Ember of Torches. You could become radiant when hitting combatants with your powered melee, which is your throwing knife. The second fragment is good for recharging your class ability faster when scorching targets. It is Ember of Singeing. The third one is how you can be able to get infinite restoration and radiant, and it's Ember of Empyrean. But you would have to get solar weapon or ability final blows to extend the duration. For your fourth solar fragment is Ember of Solace. This one increases the duration for radiant and restoration, so you have a longer time to use those 2 buffs. Last but not least, is good for ignitions, which spreads or increases the AoE for ignitions, and it's called Ember of Eruption. This is going to be good for your solar weapon, primarily your primary weapon, because of the seasonal artifacts that we have to make solar weapons busted. Might as well we're talking about the weapons. Let's head to the kinetic weapon. This season, snipers got a increased damage buff. And if you guys would like to know the numbers or the increased percentage buff, let me tell you. For the buff for the snipers, in PvE, it got a flat buff of 15%. And this also applies to exotic sniper rifles that use heavy ammo as well. But the heavy ammo, we don't really care about that. For the weapon, we are going to use Izanagi's Burden. This is the most biggest, girthiest, damagiest sniper rifle in the game, in my opinion. If you have 4 shots in the mag and you convert it into a, because of the intrinsic trait, it's called the Honed Edge. Consume your magazine magazine and load a round with additional range and damage. So you would have 4 rounds in the mag. You hold your reload button to convert it into a one-shot, one opportunity sniper rifle. As soon as you get a precision hit, you're going to deal a lot of damage. And we're also going to have weapon surges for this sniper rifle, which deals even more damage. And for the weapon perk, it's called no distractions. Aiming this weapon for a short period reduces flinch. Sounds alright, but I'm pretty sure you guys are going to quick scope to get those insane trick shots on the boss. And if you have the catalyst, which I do highly recommend, if you don't have it, please go get it. Here's what it does. It increases the damage bonus for honed edge when 4 bullets are consumed. So be sure to consume 4 bullets to proc the catalyst. Now onto the energy weapon, which is our solar primary weapon. I do recommend going for a solar SMG. It could be anything that comes with incandescent, but you know me, with solar builds, I gotta run Callus mini tool that comes with threat detector and incandescent. And onto the power weapon. You can use any rocket launcher you would like, but I would like to use Apex Predator because of reconstruction, because I'm too lazy to reload the rocket. I'll just let it do itself. The second perk is bait and switch, which increases your damage up to 30% for this rocket launcher. And here are the seasonal artifact mods that you'll need for this build if you want to deal insane amounts of damage to bosses and also clearing out ads non-stop. So the key ones that increases your damage are on the 5th column. It is on the last one, called Argent Ordnance. Firing a rocket launcher consumes 1 stack of armor charge, granting increased damage and reload speed until you reload or stow your rocket launcher. So the more armor charges you have, the longer this artifact mod's gonna last on your rocket launcher. And let's just say your fire team doesn't have a tractor cannon boy, which is kind of sad. For this seasonal artifact mod, whenever you cause damage with your solar ability, it would weaken champions and bosses for a short duration. And here are what stats you should be using for this build. If you want to go all out on your super energy, which I do highly recommend, go for intellect, and then your second priority is resilience, because resilience is good for end game content or anything in general. Now without further ado, let's head to the armor mods that you're gonna need to use for this build. Let's start with the helmet. For the helmet, you got to put harmonic siphon, dynamo, and hands on. For your gauntlets, you're gonna need to put impact induction, focusing strike, and heavy handed. For your chest, you need to put melee damage resistance, harmonic resistance, and charged up. Charged up is good for Argent Ordnance for that seasonal artifact mod. And for your boots, you're gonna want to put kinetic weapon surge, solar weapon surge, and another kinetic weapon surge. Back in the day, when using Celestial Nighthawk, many people would use triple kinetic weapon surge on the boots, but Bungie has nerfed that, so you can no longer be able to do that. Kind of. When you use 2 kinetic weapon surges, it also stacks the damage for your golden gun. I don't know why, but I guess it works. So be sure to put 2 kinetic weapon surges to give you more damage for your Izanagis and also your golden gun. And onto the Hunter Cloak. You're going to want to put Powerful Attraction, Reaper, and Time Dilation. And for Time Dilation, it extends the armor charge duration up to 5 seconds, so that will be 15 seconds in total. And if you guys would like to see all of the armor mods at once, it would be right here on screen as what you're seeing here. Of course, with every other video, I do recommend you guys would check out the dim in the link in the description, because it would just take one press of a button and you'll get all of the armor mods right there and then. So if you guys would like to use this build efficiently, I do recommend first proccing Radiant with your melee or getting solar rapid kills with your solar weapons. So whenever you proc Radiant, be sure to use your melee dodge combo non-stop to give yourself more super energy to get your golden gun quicker. Once you have your golden gun, be sure to pull it out, ADS, and be sure to get that crit. If you don't, that's kind of sad. Right before you're about to shoot that boss, be sure to use your solar melee to debuff that boss, then shoot him with your golden gun if you want to deal a little bit more damage. If you made it this far into the video, I got a question for you. The time that I'm recording, it's barely the 3rd day of Season of the Wish. And my question is to you, do you guys enjoy Season of the Wish so far? Is it alright? Is it okay? Is it bad? Is it meh? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts. If you'd enjoyed this insane damage super on the Solar Hunter build, be sure to hit that like and sub button. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, evening, or afternoon. Take care and peace.